Link engaged.
Visit us at teamspeak.com.
Welcome back, everyone, to the TeamSpeak Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open number 20. We are going to be here in an epic finals match. Here in the top right, we have Tyrius, aka Zephyr. This was played on the Korean server to minimize lag between these two players, so that's just his account name on Korea. So Tyrius, aka Zephyr, here in the top right is our blue Zerg. In the bottom left, we have Hack representing Team ZeNEXHack as our red Terran. Going to be a pretty awesome game on ZeNEXHack Caverns here. Now, I mean, MrBitter, you're our Zerg player here, a resident Zerg. I'm just a lowly Protoss here, so can you enlighten us? Enlighten us on what ZVT is going to be like on a map like this.
Well, I can hear the cries of bias already, but I do feel like this is a map that favors Terran a little bit, especially if it gets to 3 bases, because Terran's 3rd base will be that goal, and if he can control the center of the map, it becomes extremely difficult for Zerg to really move around and to attack. You can say, but you can use the tasteless secret hallway, MrBitter, but you know, Terran will wall that with an eBay or some depots, giving him plenty of time to respond to attacks down there. And you can say, but you can also attack down this left side, MrBitter. Yeah, that's true too, but the entire army of Terran is going to be over here south of the planetary, so moving to deal with an attack down that left side is also fairly simple stuff. So if it gets to 3 base, this will probably favor Terran a little bit. Prior to that, however, Zerg has tons of options that they can do. We can see that Zephyr, aka Tyrius, is going to be going for the fast expansion, and I do like that. And you know, he has lots of 2-base options. You know, Baneling stuff and Roach stuff. And you know, what I would like to see out of Zerg is him just doing something to get ahead. Essentially creating enough of an advantage for him to get into a mid game in a way that allows him to deal with the 3rd base.
I like this early drone scout as well from Zephyr. You know, the natural to natural distance on this map is probably the shortest distance in the entire map pool. So you do have to worry about duracks a lot when you go in for that early expansion. So the fact that he went for that very early drone scout to be able to actually, you know, figure out, wait a minute, Hack, he's just going for a gasless expansion here. I'm completely safe with my expand. That's good. And I do think that on a map like this, any of these really, these 2-player maps with just 5 bases per map, once you get into the late game, I feel like, yeah, it is going to favor Terran at least just a bit, because Zergs do like to have maps like, you know, on Tal'Darim, where you'll just be able to take a million expansions everywhere.
Right.
And that's not really going to be an option here for Zephyr.
Yeah, at the end of the day, he only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total bases that he can have access to. Maybe he can take the Terran's natural 4th. That's one of the expansions I like to take. Actually, it's my 3rd, frankly. Yeah, it's not something like you said. A bigger map allows for more expansion. It allows for more use of Zergy, swarmy stuff. You know, but you know, who knows? There's a lot of stuff that Zerg can do with investors that really equalize things. So I mean, it's really anyone's guess how this game's going to turn out. We can see that Terran Hack, in fact, is going for this 1 Rax expand, like you said, and so we're going to see just a good solid macro game here.
Yeah, pretty much. And interestingly, Hack has this SCV over on the right side of the map. It's just been kind of going back and forth in this area. Maybe he was checking for a Ninja 3rd or something. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, you're not going to have like proxy tech from a Zerg player. So, not entirely sure. I thought maybe he was going to build like a proxy barracks over there or something crazy. But no, just checking around, making sure, I guess, that there's no lings over there or something. I wish I knew exactly what he was thinking.
Throwing down a 2nd command or a 3rd command center.
Oh my god.
This is cool,
awesome,
man. This is like the mass orbital style, relying on mules to supercharge your economy. He's not going to take a fast 3rd base. He's just going to use that command center for the mules. And he's also poking around the top of the map with these Marines. They were probably hunting for overlords. But you know, no reason why he can't poke in here to try pick off a drone or 2. There are a bunch of lings waiting for him though, and those Marines will be squashed probably before they can kill anything.
Yeah, they will be killed. They will get a little bit of scouting information. They can kind of, you know, keep track of the drone count at the natural, see that there's no gas at the natural, so a little bit of scouting information, but overall not doing all that much. I like that Overlord placement as well from Tyrius, that he was able to see those Marines coming before they got out of the reeds that block the line of sight. But as you said, Hack going for this 3 command center style, I really like this style. I think this is something that Terran players are just kind of starting to explore more and more nowadays. Just getting an extra command center, it pays for itself pretty darn quickly. once you start getting those mules going, it's kind of ridiculous. Especially, I think it's especially effective when you do go for this fast expand style, because what you end up having is 3 orbital commands, not just muling, but also producing SCVs. And that, getting that saturation up when you go for a fast expansion is, really difficult off of just 2 orbital commands. So I really like this style.
Yeah, that's actually a really fantastic point, because one of the big strengths of Zerg is Larva Inject that allows them to just supercharge their drone production and just have so many more workers than Terran. But by having that 3rd command center, you do lessen that by quite a bit. It's almost like having Chrono Boost, which is close in terms of keeping your probe numbers up. Still not as good as Larva Inject, but close. Pretty quick layer coming here out of Zephyr. And I'm curious to see what he does with it. He's on 4 gas. He's going for single Evo and a Baneling Nest.
Interesting.
And an Infestation Pit. Oh, don't let that get scouted!
Oh, he cancels it and makes into a Spire as the SCV gets in there. Is he going to cancel it again then?
Please do. Please do.
My God,
that would be so awesome.
Wow, he's actually just going to
leave
there. Yes, he is. Okay, good. All right. Oh, thank you, Zephyr, for being a baller. Granted, you shouldn't have let the SCV get there in the first place, but I like that he was just faking his opponent out. Now, Hack is going to be expecting Muto's on the way. He's probably going to get an eBay at some point and start adding on turrets. He's going to be very worried about that, and this is such a standard Zerg style, to go Zerg and Baneling until you can get Mutos up and running. So I think he's going to be, expecting that quite a bit, and the fact that it's actually going to be Infestor or maybe early Hive, who knows, is exciting me quite a bit, because Infestors are so good.
This is really exciting for me. We've been seeing a lot of Infesterling stuff just kind of around Destiny, very famously, making it very popular. A little Ling run by here into the natural. But when we see Infesterling, we don't see Banelings. The whole logic is Infestors kill Marines, therefore you don't need Banelings. I'm going to use that gas for something else. But Infestor, Zergling, Baneling is something that I don't think anybody really does. So I'm excited to see what Zephyr has in store for us and how this plays out. We can see that turrets are already going up for Hack. eBay went down pretty early, so he's absolutely committing to defending these mutas that just are not coming. I love it. I love the mind game.
Yeah.
And we do see some links coming down the map now. Oh, I cannot wait to see how this opens up in the mid game.
Oh, yeah, it also means he's going to be focusing very heavily on Marine production, and Marines, of course, just get decimated by Fungal. So this is just such smart play by Zephyr throughout this game. Armory now on the way for Hack, so he might even start trying to make some Thors, which would be pretty comical, because if Zephyr does end up getting Neural Parasite, he can just mind control those Thors, have them on his side of the fight. I like that he's taking a quick 3rd now as well. So he knows he's going to be safe. He has Infestors already on the way with Pathogen Glands going to be finishing in time, so he'll have the energy right from the start.
I need to talk a little bit about just the mind game that's going on here. Infesterling styles are good because they're defensive, but a Terran player that recognizes that you're going Infesterling can expand again and be pretty safe. But because Hack thinks he's seeing mutas, look, he's made a couple of Vikings, he's got no inclination of taking a 3rd base that we can see. He hasn't killed any rocks anywhere. He's sitting back playing very, very defensively, trying to be passive, just making himself super safe against this Muta harass, and Zephyr isn't doing anything of the sort. He's taking that 3rd base. We can see that he's making a ton of drones. He'll have that 3rd base saturated in no time, and he's got the Lings and the Infestors out on the map already, so he's completely safe from a push. This is awesome.
He actually just showed the Infestor, which I think is pretty major, that he allowed the Viking to actually see the Infestor as it got fungled. So now Hack has got to realize, wait a minute, there's no way he'd have Mutas and Infestors. He actually tricked me out. He's going for Infestors here. Now he's going to go for this push. And look at this, Zephyr, excuse me, has actually triple expanded here. So he might actually be a little bit vulnerable to this push time just based on how much he expanded. But that being said, he has quite a few Infestors, and I think it looks like, no, never mind. Hack's not actually going to go for the push. He's just going to take this gold. He realizes, wait a minute, he went Infestors. He's going to be expanding. I need to expand as well. I'm not being contained by Mutalisks. I need to take this 3rd as soon as possible.
Yeah, no, actually, a push would be the worst thing in the world for Hack to do, because there's like a million hatcheries of production back here and tons of units and tons of Infestors. A push would just die. So Hack's doing the exact right thing. He's taking this gold base, but he's making a mistake, in my opinion, in that he's putting an orbital there. You want to control the middle of the map with a planetary. That's one of the reasons why I feel like Terran does so well on Xel'Naga Caverns. With an orbital there, there's nothing to stop the Zerglings from being annoying anytime that army leaves.
Yeah, he's also got to really worry about Infestors, of course. Players like Destiny have shown us that pure Infestor actually just kill buildings really easily. Just spam Infested Terrans.
Infestors counter everything. I'll
Yeah.
come right out and say it.
They do.
They're pretty damn good. A Hive already done for Terius. He's got an Ultralisk Cavern down, and he's getting chitinous plating. Now I'm curious to see how this plays out. A lot of people would argue that Ultras are worthless. I think they're pretty good. So look at this drop coming here from Hack, and I thought that Zephyr was all over it.
Yeah.
But it looks like
he didn't actually have vision of it, so that was kind of crazy that he would have seen it. But yeah, he's just pulling back now. These 8 Marines are going to move forward and do some damage to this third. This Overlord's going to spot it, though. So now he's going to bring his entire army in here. Now the fact that the Marines killed the Overlord first is going to actually make it so that this drop does nothing. Nice fungal. Will be able to stop this medevac in place and kill it off eventually. So yeah, this drop's not actually going to be able to do anything at all. And now it looks like Hack, gearing up to maybe take a fourth soon, has gone ahead and taken out the Overlord that was producing creep over by that lower ground expansion. But I find this hilarious that Zephyr took the expand that was closer to Hack, here on the right side of the map. He's just taking the entire map, got some great creep spread going all over the place. And I feel like he's just playing so solidly this game. Yeah, he's playing really well. The one thing that I don't like for a Zerg player is the fact that he's going Ultra instead of Broodlords against quite a few siege tanks. Tanks do really well against Infestors, tanks do really well against Zerglings. Oh, look at this! Moves his stuff out of position, and this is why you want a Planetary here. Oh, great fungal on the Marines. Every Marine is going to die now. Hack is in trouble. He just lost all of his Marines, and the Zerg army is max. And he's actually going to push here. This is a mistake in my opinion, because he's going to have a bunch of Ultras bearing down on the siege tanks. And, Zephyr, he's going to go and he's going to engage. He's going to catch him right before he can siege. This is the worst possible place to engage in at that choke that the Terran can take, but that being said, it doesn't matter. Hack just doesn't have enough units. He lost every single one of those Marines to that fungal, and all of a sudden he has no units to be able to push with. So look at this. Zephyr just falls back. Smart move. Just like, why would I engage over there at your expansion? I can just fall back. I'm the defender right now. I have more bases than you. Yep. So, I mean, Hack's going to try to move forward again with this army, but there's really nothing he can do. This Ultralisk, curiously enough, just going in by himself. I guess he has a bad rally there or something, just sending those Ultras in one at a time. Yeah, I think this Scythe hatchery was rallied down to the gold base. I want to stress how big a deal it is that there's not a planetary at this gold base. This is supposed to be the staging. Whoa, Knight is in the main! Oh, that's awesome. Oh my god. I'm so happy for Zephyr right now. That was fantastic. And we both missed it on the way too. Like, all of a sudden that sound just comes out of nowhere. Oh, beautiful. And granted, it's not even going to do that much damage because it's going to be cleaned up. And at the same time, an attack at the third. And again, if there's a planetary there, this is so much less effective. Now, that many Ultras would probably kill a planetary, but not with a couple tanks and SCVs on repair. But anyway, Hack is screwed, man. He has been absolutely outplayed here. From the get-go, Zephyr dropping that Spire, making him think mutas, and then switching right into just mass Infesterling, fast tier 3 Ultras on the field. Zerg is looking so good here. I don't think there's anything Hack can do. Does he have a Spire somewhere? Because I noticed he has 7. Yeah, I mean, obviously he has it somewhere, but I'm looking to see if he has a Greater Spire because he has 7 Corruptors that just popped. I'm looking to see if he's going to have Broodlords. He does have the Greater Spire already done, so we will have not only Ultras and Infestors with Broodlords here, and it doesn't matter. There's the GG from Hack. That was so well played by Zephyr that game. Yeah, it all came down. It all kind of came down to that mind game trick he did there with cancel. I'm so glad he went for that. He could have just let the SCV see the Infestation Pit and tried to play it through, but the fact that he canceled it, faked the Spire, and then canceled again and went for that Infestation Pit. I mean, that actually couldn't have worked out better for him, the fact that he let the SCV into his base, because, of course, if Hack hadn't gotten an SCV into his base, he would have just used a scan. Yeah. And it's a lot harder to fake when there's a scan. They'll see you cancel, and they realize you'll just cancel again. So I think that was just beautifully played by Zephyr, and he basically did everything right that game. Yeah, I agree. Absolutely fantastic game out of the Zerg player there. I like the opening that we saw at a Hack. I thought he put himself in a good position. He got a little bit outsmarted by the tech canceling that was going on by the Zerg player, but I think there was a huge mistake in not putting a planetary at that third base. I think if he's got the planetary there, it becomes extremely difficult for Zerg to attack past that point.
Zerg has to really commit a lot of resources into killing that planetary fortress, be it banelings or a bunch of ultras or something. As it was, or the way it played out, Zerg was able to knight us in the back and then hit the third at the same time, and there was just no way that Terran could defend it. So that, in my opinion, is the biggest misstep that Terran made. I don't know that it would have made that much of a difference because Zerg played so well that game.
Yeah, it's kind of like having cannons as a Protoss player. After you expand, you can't really go for a push until you have those cannons at your nat because you got to deal with the counterattacks. So having that defense at your expansion can allow you to be more mobile with your army. But I mean, like you said with the Nidus, that Nidus wasn't even there to kill him. That Nidus was purely there to give him the positional advantage, force the Terran units back to defend the Nidus, since you never know. His whole army could come out of the Nidus, or it could just be a couple ultras, right? So you don't know. You have to send your army back to defend, and in the meantime, now that your army's gone, yeah, he's just going to come in and counter your third. So that was just such a good play by Zephyr, but we're going to be moving into Game 2. So we should be back with that. We are going to have a 1-0 advantage to Zephyr right now in this best of 5, and we'll be moving into Game 2 right after this quick commercial break.